Surprise, my Chunsters! My name is Glen Chun, and it is time for Wrestlecast episode 16, which was supposed to happen on Sunday, or at least that was the original plan. However, one of my guests for the show had run a marathon and had a tournament to go to at the time the show was aired. So we were like, it's okay, we'll do it at some other point in the week. Unfortunately, nobody's available now. So what seemed like a good plan, it is no longer a good plan. But that is okay. The show has to happen. The show has to go on regardless. There's nothing I can do about it. Regardless, the show will be going on. And I also can't get my lower third to work. So my Google Hangouts problems continue from last Sunday, where you'll remember I couldn't get it to work at all. But now I've got it working partially, at least. And that's a start. If it works partially, that means there's a potential for more to happen, maybe in the future. Maybe one day Wrestlecast will work as it's supposed to once again. That day is not this day, however. But in some ways, love for not being here is kind of not a problem. You know why it's not a problem? Because it means you can see this beautiful little logo upon my shirt, which is an LEP Wrestling Academy shirt. Why is that not a problem? Why is that a good thing? Well, because we are talking about LEP. Oh, yes, we are. Absolutely, sir. Because LEP has got a show happening in Topsham. That is this Saturday, May the 21st. The doors open. When do the doors open? I have got the Facebook page open right here. Because it's 5:30 p.m. That door's open. And I'm going to talk about the show. Why not? I'm going to talk about LEP. Because, well, it's been documented on this show before that I train with LEP. Am I going to be on the show? No. Not happening. I am an interested third-party observer. I am not on the show. I will be in attendance, but I'm not actually on it. Hands up to that. But I am very happy to tell you that for, I think, possibly the first time ever on this podcast, I have an exclusive. Oh yeah, I have a scoop. It's a match which has not yet been announced, but we can tell you about it because we can tell you it's going to happen, and I'm sure will be looking forward to it when it does. So let's get started. Let's get on with this. I have coffee ready, as you may see. I have coffee which is ready to be sipped as we talk about Topsham. So let's do it. Right, so first things first. This will be the debut for LEP Wrestling Academy in Topsham. So far, LEP has only actually performed in Torquay, out of the training centre, and also there's Babbacombe Road, St Anne's Hall. And now momentum is gathered. LEP is expanding outwards. Do you like my hand gesture? I hope you did, because I think it helps make the point I'm trying to make there, is that we are expanding outwards now, is LEP, to new places. First new place we're going to is Exeter, or St Mathews Hall in Topsham, just right by Exeter, really. And this is the start of expansion for LEP, which is a big deal. It is a very big deal, taking a big risk doing that. So why not? Why not help them along? So this show features a man who's going to be on the show tonight, who is going to help hype this match. But alas, not going to be happening alas, he's not here to promote this anymore. Question is, will this man go into Exeter, his hometown, as the hero or the villain? Who knows? The match is Chris Shark Andrews versus the LEP Academy champion, Jason King. Jason King, who had requested an appearance on this podcast so that he could, come on and actually take a look, and actually promote it himself. But this is the first match that we have for you today. It's Chris Andrews versus Jason King. So many different ways this thing can go, in my mind. So many different ways. For the start, Chris Andrews is one of the most respected guys operating in the Southwest scene. He's just a big name in British wrestling in general. Jason King is still very much a man who hasn't really been. He hasn't been back in wrestling for all that long, really. Not in wrestling terms, and is really starting to find his feet. Obviously, he's been the champion now for. This is why he should have. This is why it would have been nice if he had been here. Because I cannot remember how long he's been the champion, because it's been ages, and I mean ages. It's got to be getting close to 300 days now. Got to be. If not, it's past 300 days. So Jason has really found his feet in wrestling world since returning, and is standing with his head well above water and is doing very, very, very well for himself. So you've got a combination there of a big name, a well-respected man, huge man as well, the Devon powerhouse, come on, could probably outmuscle virtually anybody else in the Southwest against Jason King, who, well, let's be honest, he's not the biggest guy in the field, absolutely not, but he has cunning. You see, he does have a bit of cunning, and here's the thing. This match can go, like I say, a number of different ways. But I think what you're going to be looking at here is probably, you're probably going to see dominance from Chris Andrews with his physical prowess, and you're going to see, I think you're going to have to see a Jason King, which is going to have to really stamp his authority whenever he can get it. That's, if he can get Chris Andrews down, he's going to have to stay on him and beat on him and beat on him and beat on him. That's the only way he's going to get through Chris Andrews. Let's put it that way. Either way, I think you can expect to see a great match. It's going to be an interesting dynamic, that's for sure. Some in the Southwest reckon this could be a modern day Southwest edition of Luger versus Flair. I've heard that bounded around before. I've heard that saying used to describe this match, and that could very well be the case for this one. So that is going to be one that you're going to want to see, because, like I say, it could be very, very, very interesting. The next match I have to announce is an altered match. For anybody who doesn't know, recently, Mr. Pretty Boy himself, Danny Walsh, got rushed to hospital and had to have his appendix out. Which, for those of you who do not know about these types of things, is extremely painful and will keep you out of wrestling for a while. Mr. Walsh reckons 6 to 8 weeks. And what that means is he couldn't be at this show, which he originally was going to be. Anyway, fear not, show goes on. And Danny Walsh understands this, which is why he has found a replacement for his match. And it's quite a replacement. Quite a replacement indeed. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the next match I have to announce to you tonight is this. It is English Lion Eddie Ryan versus Adam Flint. Now, again, a bit like Jason King versus Chris Andrews before, this one is going to be probably quite cat and mousey, I would expect. Because here you have Eddie Ryan, the English Lion, well accomplished, big name in English wrestling, and just a prowess, a specimen of a man, let's just say that. The strength of Eddie Ryan is huge, off the scale. He's a very, very strong individual, let's put it that way. And it's going to be completely impossible for Adam Flint to outstrength Eddie Ryan. I want to make that quite clear. Eddie Ryan is not going to be outpowered by Adam Flint. Not a chance. Adam Flint's just not big enough. He may be big time, but he's not big enough to do that. So here you're going to see cat and mouse. I think you're going to see you're going to have to, well, this is how Adam Flint's going to have to do this. He's going to have to rely on speed and chain together offense to keep Eddie Ryan off his game. That, for me, is pretty much the only way Alan Flint is going to be able to win this thing. But again, you're looking at a very, very interesting match, a match which has a lot of potential to just, it has potential to excite, because you just don't know. You do not know what Alan Flint's going to pull out the bag. Sometimes you can be, well, I mean, like I said, well, I'm trying. Wow, that thought formulated very nicely. Thank you, thought. Right there, thank you, brain. You see, now that, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when you set off with a sentence before you've actually finished thinking of where you're going to go with it. I do that quite a lot, unfortunately. That's just a problem that my brain has. But yeah, I think sometimes you just see offense from Alan Flint and you're just like, where did that come from? I expect you're going to see offense like that, and it's going to be offense like that, which is going to be the only way Alan Flint's going to be able to get past Eddie Ryan. That's just the way I see it. Odds on favourite is going to be Eddie Ryan, I think, for this match. But you never know. You could be surprised. You could be surprised. The next match is born out of, well, it's not born out of controversy. Well, it is, in fact, now that I think about it. In this match was created when, at the last LEP show, Josh Knott, the professional Josh Knott, cost David Fury his LEP heavyweight championship match with the marvelous Mark Walsh. Now, that's led to this match being booked, which is Josh Knott versus David Fury. And this is just the way it's going to be. This is Josh Knott versus David Fury. And one I must admit I'm very much looking forward to, because Josh Knott, he knows what he's doing in that ring. He knows exactly what he's doing. When it comes to Josh Knott, there's very little this man doesn't know about pro wrestling. He's got the ability to come off the top rope. He's got the ability to technical wrestle with people. And he has a fair few power up and over moves in his arsenal as well. David Fury, he is straightforward, gonna just knock you down, knock you out, and punch you in the face. David Fury is the Southwest's answer to Brock Lesnar. David Fury is what happens when the concept of knocking somebody out and power meets knocking people out and power. He's a machine, is David Fury. And he also has furious revenge on his mind. See what I did there? Yeah, I don't really mind. That's a bad pun. But yeah, that's exactly what this match is going to be all about. Can Josh Knott withstand the furious vengeance of David Fury? Who knows? I mean, David has he has motivation on his side after being cost a title match. But there's another twist in his tail. There is another twist in his tail. It was announced on LEP that, unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts and reasons out of anybody's hands, beyond anybody's control, Marvelous Mark Walsh has vacated the championship. The championship is no longer with Marvelous Mark Walsh, which means that this championship match, since David Fury was the last #1 contender, and since Josh cost him the championship, this match is now going to be for the LEP Heavyweight Championship, to decide a new champion who's going to continue on Mark's proud legacy as the champion, a man who has held the champion for over 3 years. So, championship for over 3 years. So whoever wins this one, they have got big, marvelous shoes to fill. Marvelous shoes to fill. Let's put it that way. And yeah, Josh Knott versus David Fury is for that championship. And like I say, this one's going to be an epic encounter. And Facebook is pinging at me. Nothing interesting. Didn't think it would be. So there you go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that encounter. going to be awesome, I think, in my mind. It's just going to be amazing. Now, here is another match, which is going to be a bit cat and mouse, I think. Once again, it seems to be a bit of a feature of this show in general. But this one's going to be exciting because here you have the Mexican sensation, Maximo Jr., and he is taking on the specimen. Can we call him the specimen? Yeah, I think we can. Gaznorks, a man who is huge. The muscles on Gaznorks are not to be trifled with. Unfortunately for Maximo, that's exactly what he's going to do, trifle with them. It's not going to be pretty, let's put it that way. Well, actually, I say that. You never know. Actually, it probably will be pretty because Maximo has flowing, fast, high-risk offense. And he can spin around and he can take you down in ways where it's just like, where the heck did that come from? So you never know. This match could very much go Maximo's way. But then again, you have the sheer brutal power of Gaznorks, a man who, at LEP 5, took Maximo. Am I thinking of the right show? Am I thinking of the right show here? LEP 5. It was at St Mathews Hall in December. I'm trying to think if that's LEP 5 or LEP 6. Wow, my mind's gone completely blank on me. But, yeah. Anyway, Gaznorks, it was a rumble. In a rumble. A few people had already been eliminated. Gaznorks took Maximo Jr., had him on the shoulders, F5'd him to the outside of the ring. This is the man that we're talking about here. This is a man who can pick somebody up on their shoulders, F5 them over the top rope and to the outside. That is what Maximo has to face. Now, can Maximo unlock the keys to victory against the physically devastating Gaznorks? Who knows? Let me tell you this, though. If there is anybody on the LEP roster who can find a dynamic way to beat Gaznorks, it is going to be Maximo Jr. Olay to that. Yeah. So, I mean, this is going to be an epic encounter. Now, also announced on the LEP Facebook page quite a while ago. Now, this isn't actually on the... This isn't on the actual... Topsham show page, but a different page, if I can find it. Just want to make sure I can find it so you can see it. There's quite a lot of updates regarding LEP on their pages, but there was a huge match announcement thing going on a while ago, and I am looking for it now just to make sure I can direct you to it. And as it turns out, I don't know if I can. Here we go. Yep. We've got pages. We've got the matches coming up. There was one announced, and I'm looking for it right now so I can link you to it. I know it exists because I've seen it before. Where are you? Well, can't see it now. But anyway, I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to have to tell you about it now because I've started and I know it exists. I know it exists because I've seen it and I think I've shared it on my own Facebook page. So here we go. It's a tag team match. Oh yes, it's a tag team match, and well, you're looking at something special here. Because it's going to be very much a case of two students with two teachers. Let's put it that way. Because on one side of the ring, you have the UK Dominator teaming up with Vincent the Mad Dog Andrews of the firm with the other two members of the firm at ringside. They will be taking on the team of TC Harris and the Rocker, John Harding. Like I say, this is a teacher versus student match in every single way because TC Harris is going to be learning from John and you're going to have the Mad Dog learning from the Ultimate Rule Breaker, the UK Dominator. And if the Mad Dog keeps his eyes wide open, he's going to see plenty of ways which he can shortcut his way to a victory. That is the case. That's what you're going to see happening here. Now, the question is, how will the firm affect this match? I can see it now. I cannot envisage the firm, the other two members of the firm, staying out of this one. You're talking about a guy like Jago of the firm. I mean, there's no way the firm are staying out of this. How are they going to get involved? I don't know. I can just see poor old referee John Obrey's going to need eyes in the back of his head for this one. He's just going to need that, because this is a match which could potentially devolve into deorganized chaos. That's the way I see it. That's what I reckon is going to happen. My apologies. Because, I mean, here's the thing, right? Even though DC Harris and John Harding are good guys, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to play by the rules themselves. Not necessarily. These two guys can get a bit crazy themselves. So you're looking at something which could be an epic encounter coming here. Is what I'm going to predict. Just a generalized epic encounter. Now, exclusive. I have received word, oh yes, from a former guest of mine, and from LEP themselves, who have contacted me and saying we wish to offer you an exclusive. So I was like, two sources. Yes, why not? Let's have an exclusive here. So, match announcement. Well, that came out well. Match announcement. There we go. That's better. Like that. Yeah. You're going to be seeing. Well, I was about to try and predict how this one's going to go, actually. You know what? The fact is, I do not know how this one's going to go at all. I haven't got a clue. Because they're two relative unknowns in this match, actually. I know a little bit about one of the guys, and I know nothing about the other. So, ladies and gentlemen, the former guest on this podcast that broke the story to me and then LEP reached out, you're going to be seeing the Russian Dmitry Ivanov taking on the debuting Terry Spitfire. Now, how is this match going to go? I have absolutely no clue. I have no clue. All I know is Terry Spitfire is a name which sounds more British than pork pies. That's about all I can really tell you. With a name like that, I can only assume he's going to be a bit British, which might well irritate Dmitry Ivanov. Because Dmitry Ivanov, here's the thing, right? Dmitry Ivanov, I've had him on this show before. He has sat here. It was literally right here that he sat. And here's the thing, right? Dmitry Ivanov does not like British people. He just doesn't. He just flat out doesn't. In fact, let me put it this way. Dmitry Ivanov does not like anything that isn't Russian. So, literally, we're talking about a man here who would rather own a Lada than a Jaguar. This is Dmitry Ivanov in a nutshell. I don't know how else I can say this. This is what Dmitry Ivanov is. He also hates this podcast. He hates this podcast because it's not Russian. I don't know how I can sell this to you in any other way. He is so Russian. Not even vodka is Russian enough for this man. And he's taking on a man who I'm guessing is extremely English and probably quite patriotic in his ways. And I can just see this. I can see Dmitry not being happy about this match. So, how's it going to go? I have no clue because I haven't got an idea about Terry Spitfire. But one thing he's going to need to be able to do, probably play mind games with Dmitry, if anything. Try and antagonize him into making a mistake. Because the thing is, Dmitry, he's quite tactical. He won't make a mistake unless he's forced to. And that's what Terry Spitfire's going to have to do in this match. He's going to have to get inside the head of Ivanov. Really mess him around. Otherwise, I think the match plan for Dmitry is quite simple. Straightforward, full frontal assault. Dmitry, put it this way, he believes in his Russianness. And he believes that because he's Russian, he doesn't have to think really too much about tactics and can just steamroll through everybody. So that's what you're going to see. You're going to see mind games, I think, versus just straightforward attack. But yes, match exclusive. Didn't really know. I didn't know that one was going to be happening until this week. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be seeing Terry Spitfire make his debut against the only recently debuted Dmitry Ivanov. And that is your match card. Now, I would like to just run down that one more time for you. So, let's talk this, not from the top, let's just go in any order we want to, really. So you have, like I say, the match I've just been talking about, Terry Spitfire versus Dmitry Ivanov. You have that tag match, the UK Dominator and the Vincent Mad Dog Andrews being accompanied by the Firm versus TC Harris and the Rocker, John Harding. You will be seeing the English Lion, Eddie Ryan, taking on Adam Flint. You will also get to see big matches. Remember, LEP Heavyweight Championship match, Josh Knott versus David Fury. You will see what I can only be described as probably quite an interesting match where you're going to see quite a lot of big things are popping. It's going to be the Maximo Jr., the Mexico sensation, that is, Maximo Jr. versus Gaz Norris. And the match, which is just going to be interesting, to say the least. It's not for the title, it's a non-title match, but you're going to be seeing Chris the Shark Andrews versus the LEP Academy champion Jason King in his hometown. I believe both of them are actually in their hometown. I think that Chris actually is in Exeter base as well. So you've got a lot on this show. You've got a lot on the show and a lot to look forward to. A lot of big names, a lot of names you haven't seen, a few names you haven't seen before, and a few names that you're only going to see in LEP for the moment. So you've got a lot of reasons to attend this show. Now, whilst we're talking about LEP, before I wrap this whole thing up in a nice, neat little bow, because we've talked about the show, talked about what we want to talk about, this isn't the only show LEP is doing this month. Oh, no. You see that whole thing about expansion? I like that hand action. Let's do that one again. Expansion. Yeah, I like that. I like that hand action. It gets the point across so well. LEP has another show, and it debuts in Plymouth on May the 29th. And incidentally, we're going to be talking about that show in the next episode of Wrestlecast. So on the next episode of Wrestlecast, episode 16, episode 17, you're going to see a show about LEP Plymouth, because I train with these guys, feel a bit of a pull towards LEP, and I want to talk about LEP in Plymouth because big things are happening. That'll be at Stonehouse Creek Leisure Centre. Tickets are already on sale. In fact, if you want to see a few announcements that have already been made, you can always hop on over to the LEP Facebook page, which will be linked in the description of this video. So if you want to find out about LEP and all the happenings before I can get to them, that's where you do it. Where you can see messages for matches, you can see all sorts there. Anything LEP will be there. Let's put it that way. So yeah, next week I'm talking about Plymouth. This week it was all about Exeter. And by the way, let's see if I can get some hype going for this. For next week, we will be joined once again by returning guests First of them is the referee, John O'Brien, the man who is, I think, the most popular referee I've ever seen in my life. And he will be joined on the episode by the Academy Champion Jason King, who's been requesting time on the podcast again. Which is funny because I thought he said he was never going to be on the podcast ever again. But he's requesting time. And I'm a charitable person. I'm in a giving mood, so I'm going to give him time on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, that is next week. This week is LEP in St Mathews Hall, Exeter, Topsham. Tickets are on sale. Make sure you're there. It's going to be an epic show. That's all from me. So until next week, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everybody, and I hope to see you there.